So, things have always been, things have been heating up everywhere. I've been heating up because of it as well. Well, and what are we heating up about? Everything. From what people are saying online to, the cancellation culture and everything else. But so I want to try and summarise my thoughts and ideas about the cancellation culture and those people involved. Recently, I saw a YouTube video, and it was about Ezra Millar and Amber Heard, and should they be removed from the DC universe? And I made a video a week ago or so about, just keep Amber Heard there and stuff, but at least we know. Now, I'm going to try and explain myself as best I can, so just hold back, and I'll get to Ezra Millar cancellation. So here we go, because none of this is scripted. So just keep your fingers off the dislike button or like button for just a tad moment, because I'd rather hear your take on it rather than a thumbs up or thumbs down. Okay? Now, we have what you may call art, right? Art comes in many forms. It comes from movies, music, pictures, anything that has a meaning or entertainment value, right? From people who are in front of the camera, behind the camera, people that supply the stuff or whatnot for other people to view, okay? To view and to like. Now, some of these people from the past, right? I'm talking from the beginning of the world, okay? These philosophers, these famous people, right? They've always had either something wrong with them or some shoddy, dodgy background. And you look at any sort of art picture there is in a museum, and you may appreciate it. You may look at a painting of Van Gogh and not realise what sort of man he was. Cutting his ear off and everything else, the ludicrousy, and people commenting that these artists from long ago were mental cases, were women abusers, were, whatever float their boat, it wasn't as deemed normal for the wider audience, and that these people that are in the light, that's in the limelight, that's out there, okay, they're bearing their souls and everything else out there, and so we automatically put them on a pedestal, right? Well, we put them up high because they have shown us something. They have, their work has meant something to us. So we become fans, we become admirers. And then when it comes to something bad about the person, it's like the artwork has been taken away from us. It's we can no longer like that because the artist did something like that. But now we live in a world where there is people are judging people without getting the full facts. Now, and then everybody's screaming now, oh, we don't want to see him anymore. And then you get the defenders that will come over and say, but we've got to face facts. Yes, we love him, and it's just this is biased treatment against them. This is haters. This is that and that. That it's he's an okay guy. It's all lies. He's an okay woman and all that stuff. So you'll get defenders and you get people that never liked the person anyway, and it'll just use that to crush the person. But all I'll say is people make mistakes. People are flawed and everything else. And yeah, and then in some cases, yes, they should be made accountable. But should we stop appreciating the artwork? Kevin Spacey made The Usual Suspects, and then news came out decades later about what sort of person he was to this other man or whatnot. So should that then prevent us from liking the work that he did? Should the accusations against Michael Jackson, should his music then never be listened to again because of the people that's coming forward and saying stuff? And for my personal ideas is that is art. The art now belongs to me, right? He has, and Freddie Mercury once said, when he's dead and gone, his music is for everybody and they can do whatever they want with it. He's out of the picture. So that's the sort of way I like to take everything. That, even though this film or this if they've created something for my enjoyment, despite what they have done, I should separate but acknowledge the evilness of that. I mean, there's films today and there's TV series today that, because it was filmed 20 years ago, today, now it's like, oh my God, he should not have said that. That is racist. But at those times in the past, it was acceptable. And we're taking ourselves, yes, we could say we're taking ourselves too serious. The movie The Joker came out, and they had the song Gary Glitter's You Want to Be in My Gang. And people said, I'm not going to see Joker, that is ridiculous for them to play that tune. Meanwhile, on my work, I hear a guy play the song umpteen times in the years before. Does it offend me? No. It's the music. And rightfully so, the film, The Joker, the directors and producers and whatnot have said that Gary Glitter does not receive a penny for the music that's in that film. They went through some legality or whatnot and made sure. And that to me is the right approach. So you come up to people like Joss Whedon and Jeff Johns. Now I, as you know, made a video, very controversial, because I was hitting back at a YouTuber called Babyface. And my main argument on that was he wasn't showing the facts. He was putting down somebody that has claimed to be mentally abusive, verbally abusive to them in a threatening matter. And it's just, there's no right to put that person down that's came forward. Should Joss Whedon and Jeff Johns be fired from their jobs? No. But they should, just like the Black Lives Movement, okay, when they're bringing down the statues and they want the statues removed. No, keep the statues up. But on the statues, have a bit on the statue that tells you not just the positive stuff about the character, but the negative stuff. Let's learn our true histories about somebody. If somebody's willing, but should it be in the public eye? Should the Jeff Johns and everything else be in the public eye? Should they not be given the same rights to us and have these? I mean, when you have a grievance against a boss in a company, it's not public news. It's not on TV media. Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, their court case should not be open to the world, where you'll have people getting on somebody's side. That will never happen to the likes of you and I. And Princess Diana was killed by a journalist, driving so close to their car. Harry moves away because they're not used to the media attention. We should not be living in a big world, a big brother world, where all our moves are being judged by everybody on the planet. But what we should do, by the courts, leave it to the courts. And for people that in, say, Jeff Johns, because his work is brilliant in the comic books, Joss Whedon, despite I don't like his movies, seem to make films for people. But at the same time, they should be held accountable. So people should be made aware. So when you go onto a set with these people on it, people are well aware of what they are like and what they're doing, and know that they have freedom to speak against. You know, Amber Heard is, I mean, there's stuff about Amber Heard and Johnny Depp that's coming out, and people on Johnny Depp. So should she be removed from DC movies? Well, really, there is a lot of people I watch, stars and whatnot, in movies and music, that I probably dislike their personality of. But that wouldn't stop me going to see a film if it was a good enough story, and if that character or him or her playing that character has made that film better, then I will go and see it. But I will acknowledge what type of person she is, because that will stay with these people for the rest of their lives. And we always have that saying, forgive and forget, but acknowledge and remember those misdeeds so you can correct yourself later on, so it won't happen again. It's living with that I think is more of a harsh judgment for these people in the positions to be in the movie industry, but then to know that they cannot get away with it ever again, and to know that they have got a lot of apologies to make, and that they can have to prove themselves a different person. That to me is more better. If Amber Heard can get the right sort of help mentally, and to fix this, that is much better than totally demolishing a person by taking everything away from that person. That doesn't help anything. You know, everybody makes mistakes. We look at our Flash, Ezra Millar. We do not know the whole story behind that video scene of Ezra Millar with that woman. We do not know what happened beforehand. All we get is somebody's version of the phone. We do not know what happened to him that day that could lead up to that. We're living in a world where it's okay for women to hit men. I mean, we have zero tolerances everywhere, but people forget that men can also be the victim. But your demand, you lose your manlyhood the minute you say, my wife is beating me up. It's not as cool for men to come forward like that. It's not cool for a man to lift their hands to a woman, even though that woman may be lifting so many hands to him. So we cannot, and I'm not saying it's cool to slap a woman. It's not, okay? It's not good to have any violence against anybody. Okay? It's not good to hit anybody. But all I'm saying is if we're so demanded and living in a world where we have, equal rights for the sexes, then we cannot just judge what happened on that day just because there was a man and a woman, and the man, we had no idea what that woman was doing. And so we can't. So should Ezra Miller leave the role as Flash? No, that is for the courts to decide. That is not for the public to totally throw stones. And that is exactly what we're doing. We're throwing stones at celebrities and directors and everything else. What we should be doing is waiting for the right court system, not judge anybody by the tweets, because some people feel that they do not have any power. And the only power they have is by their words alone. People claim to be talking about, what happened to Michael Jackson, and because he had so many lawyers and money, that there could have been innocent people involved that were actually speaking true. We will never know. So I'll leave these ideas out there for you. Should I believe Ezra Millar should be the Flash? Yes. Should I believe Amber Heard should be Mera? Yes. Should I believe Jeff Johns and Joss Whedon be fired from the roles? No. But what I do believe is everyone, through whatever court system it is, first of all, should be private and none of our business. And second of all, whatever industry or work or whatever lifestyle that they're leading, the people that are around them will know through the proper legal channels what they're like. And then because people have that impression, I mean, we could be damaging people like Jeff Johns, Joss Whedon, everything else by totally demolishing their character on YouTube. But as I tried to say before in my last video about Babyface, we should not condemn anybody by trying to call out a bully or a potential bully. We should not just put anybody down that's scared to speak up, because they're so. I hated his YouTube channel, his YouTube video that says Ray Fisher's crying like a baby. What, so men cannot be hurt when it comes to abusive comments? Because believe me, it can. Because we're all mentally scarred in some form or way through life, and some men are prone to be more emotional than others, and to be fair, that's probably the best thing. The worst thing for men to do is we'll look at men, and most men are more suicidal, as men do not talk. So we should not scar anybody by just wanting to talk and make our feelings known that we were hurt. But let us not be the judge of them or the bullies. But let's not tear down statues or not listen to art because somebody's been accused or this or that. You know, we have, if something in our life makes us happy, you know, and there's thousands of things in our life that gets taken away from us. YouTube videos and channels, if you listen to them, will convince you not to buy games, not to buy this movie or anything else. I mean, I've said it before, I'm not watching the Joss Whedon cut. But that's just, you know, he's ruined that. But there's some people out there that love it. But again, people attack those people that like that. We're just living in an insane world. And honestly, and I think it's best, you know, to cancel the cancellation culture. I mean, we have that TV show, Ellen DeGeneres. You know, that's something she may never recover from. But now we can hold everybody accountable for their actions or for future actions. And maybe by holding them accountable or acknowledging that there was a problem, that we can make this a better world to live in. Thank you. Let's hear your views and comments down below.